Hello guys, so this time we are gonna talk about Maldamba, and he is one of the best supports in the game. He can dish out a lot of damage along with the healing he can provide to your team. Now coming to its attacks, you have two options. One of them is Spitting Cobra, which is left click on your mouse, which is gonna do 450 damage per shot. And also the rate of fire is pretty high, which makes him one of the highest DPS support champions in the game. Moving on to the second attacking option, which is your reload. After the reload animation is finished, you throw your Cobra onto your enemy. If hit can stun an enemy for 1 second. It's pretty much a death sentence for a low health pool champion. But the reload is pretty long, so be very careful if you are going to use it in mid-fight. Suppose a flanker comes to kill you. You can poke him, do a little bit of damage, and then use Slither by pressing F on the PC, which is his escape ability to dive into a corner. After that, you can start reloading your stun. Then just peek the corner safely and land your stun on him. And if you fail to do so, just put a gourd under your feet. Always remember, Maldamba is very strong in tight corners. So if a flanker tries to jump on you in a tight space, you can basically outdamage him with your gourd. But still, it's very hard to fight a flanker on your own. But you can still stall him enough until your team comes to your rescue. And if they don't see you, just slither into your teammates so they can help you fight him. Now before we go into more details about how to play him to his strengths, we need to look at the loadout that I'm using to help my team in the best way possible. Now for the legendary card, we are going to use the Ripened Gourd, which is going to slow down your enemies to 40%. On top of that 200 damage that you're already dealing to them. You can deny any areas to your enemy with this card. We were just talking about how to defend yourself against a flanker, and I told you to put a gourd under your feet. Now if they try to jump on you in a tight corner, they are gonna be slowed down by 40%, which is huge for a flanker. Movement speed is a very important part of any flanker, and by taking that away by 40%, you are putting them at a huge disadvantage. Some people go for the Spirit's Chosen card, which is a good card, but Ripened Gourd is just more versatile. And you are hardly healing the same target over and over again. And the third one is just useless. Just don't buy that card. Now let's check out the main loadout that I am using, which as you can see, I have many gourds on level 4, which is going to reduce its cooldown by 2 seconds. And the Eerie Presence is also at level 4, which is gonna reduce your cooldown by 2 seconds if you miss your Mending Spirit. And trust me, you are going to miss even if your aim is really good. But you can use it at level 3. Any less than that, you might as well take it out of your loadout. Thirdly, the Ritual Magic is at level 2, which is going to heal you for 30 health, while you heal your teammate with Mending Spirit. Lastly, these two cards are just to fill up the space. I have Feed the Spirits and Possession at level 1, but they do add up over time. But if you want to replace these two cards, you can do so. Now let's talk about the positioning. As we already know that he is very strong in close range fights, so you should be behind your tank and near your damage carries. And don't stand in direct line of fire. Keep yourself in a tight hidden corner from where you can heal all of your teammates as easily as possible. As you already know, you have 2 healing abilities, and it's confusing sometimes which one you should use. What I like to do is use my gourd as an offensive healing tool, like throwing it on a choke point where most of the players are fighting for control, because the damage from it and the speed reduction is gonna force your enemy to push back. Now the main healing tool that you have is your Mending Spirit. You can use it after every 3 seconds. As we already know that the tank is your main healing target, and you have to manage your 2 healing abilities wisely. For example, your tank is low, and he is standing on the point. At the same time, 2 of your teammates are also low in the backline, fighting with a Skye, and we all know how fast she can kill anyone if you're not paying attention to her. Now as Maldamba, what will you do? Now we can throw a gourd for our tank and heal one of our teammates with a Mending Spirit. Or you can throw a gourd for those 2 and heal the tank with Mending Spirit. You can easily see that the second option is the better one. Pay attention. If you throw a gourd for those 2 in the back line, it's gonna help them heal while slowing down the Skye by 40%. You constantly have to keep making these decisions throughout the game. Under all this pressure to keep your team alive, don't forget that you can shoot too. While your heals are under cooldown, shoot and reload, trying to land that stun. Trust me, it's gonna help your team in a huge way. Some players who likes to play Maldamba as an aggressive healer are aggressive due to that stun. If you can land that stun, you are gonna win any 1v1. At least in the early games when they don't have resilience. Now let's talk about the mistakes that new players make with Maldamba. The first one is completely forgetting about the mending spirit. With Maldamba, you have to make this huge transition, and I know it's hard, is to switch between an enemy target to your teammate in order to heal him. And in the heat of battle, it's very easy to forget. Second one is not healing enough. I know he can do a lot of damage, and you should be doing damage when your healing is under cooldown. Always remember, you are a healer. Your job is to heal your teammates. And if you want to do damage, just pick a damage class. The third mistake is getting staggered from your team. For example, if you are spawning 8 seconds after your team, by the time you reach your team, they are gonna be dead or very low. In this case, ask your team to wait for you. And if you're lucky, they will listen to you. And if not, they are just gonna rush without you. And there is nothing you can do about that. Now the other case is you are spawning before your team, and this you can control by just waiting for your team to spawn and rush with them. Now these are not mistakes, these are just kind of tips and tricks. Suppose your tank is down and all of your teammates are alive. You have to keep them alive while your tank spawns back. Tell them to back off or at least stay in line of sight. But in pub matches, they are not gonna listen to you, but at least you can try. Now if you are down but your team is alive, then tell your team that you are dead by typing or any way that you want to. Otherwise, your teammates will rush and die while raging on you. Now let's talk about his ultimate. In pub matches, it's really hard to get the full value out of it. In order to be effective, you need a lot of follow-up damage on the enemies who are stunned by it. But with teamwork, this is one of the best game-changing ultimate that we have in the game. As you can see in the video, I used it to break the choke point to keep the momentum of the push. And don't be afraid to use this, as you can recharge it back up pretty quickly. But you have to heal your teammates in order to do that. Just keep spamming right click on your teammates, and you will have it back in no time. Lastly, we'll talk about the items that you can buy or you should buy in game. First one will be Chronos. Get it to level 2, and if there is no flank pressure on you, you can get it to level 3. With this, you can have your gourd and slither up pretty much all the time when you need it. After Chronos 2, you can go for Deft Hands if you're good at landing your stuns, and if you're not, you can just go for damage reduction, Haven or Blast Shield, depending on the situation, whichever you want. I hope I covered everything that was important, and if you want to ask me anything, just leave a comment. Now keep your teams healthy, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, enjoy the game and please don't rage.